to the several dimensions of these hoax call threats that seem to just plague the Indian aviation sector. And it's not just the aviation sector, it's largely India. What does one really make out of it? As major Indian airlines continue to get hoax bomb threats, the central government has pulled up social media giant X and flagged how its poor handling of the situation amounts to abetting the crime. At a high-level meeting today with airline officials and social media platforms like Meta and X, the Ministry of Electronics and IT reportedly questioned their representatives on the steps taken to stop such rumors from spreading. The ministry has pulled up X after the microblogging site failed to provide details of few accounts to the Delhi police that were found to be involved in posting threat messages. The development comes while major airlines in India have received at least 180 hoax threats in the past 10 days. The Delhi police has filed several cases in connection with bomb threats, and according to a senior police official, there have been no details on these anonymous posts that have been posted on various platforms. There are at least 3 such handles that for which the police has sought information, but they haven't received. Let me just open this up to my guests at this point. I'm being joined by Sanjay Leza, who's an aviation expert and CEO for Avelas, as well as in a short while from now, I'll also be joined by Pavan Duggal, who is a cybersecurity expert. But Mr. Sanjay Lazar, how do you really make out of what's happening? The center now literally blasting social media sites, including X and Meta, for not giving in information that they require. Clearly unprecedented, but how do you look at this?
Good evening, Sneha. Thanks for having me on your show. What they did on day 10, they could have done on day 2. And I was on your channel and other channels stating this, that like the US Homeland Security, we needed the Department of Electronics and Information Technology. We needed a federal investigative agency like the CBI or the RAW or IB to look at this. There are provisions in the Suppression of Terrorism Act against aircraft. There are provisions, Section 69 of the IT Act, to look at this. Unless you got the social media agencies, the companies, X, Facebook, whoever they were on board, along with the airlines, along with the BCAS, along with the DGCA, we were just, lost in puddles, playing in puddles all this while. Today, finally, I think we've moved the right direction. And I think, I've said this earlier, you can't have, Sahar police station and Bangalore police station or, IGI police station handling this. You need the CBI or you need a national investigative agency dealing with this. There are High Court judgments, the Delhi High Court, this matter is already before the High Court. There was a challenge to the IT Act. So this, the Act has already been promulgated. The rules are there. All they have to do is force the, X to come up with the information. If you're going on day 10, after 180 flights and 500 crores down, we've lost the advantage here. We've been, we're looking like really silly. But I think they should take action quickly. And I think X will come to the party. They will come to the table and do it. No point in blasting them because, X is not responsible to go to the police directly. It should have been the right.
But Sanjay Lazar, if I can understand, I think we would also going to have a tech expert. We're trying to see if we can connect through them. But Sanjay Lazar, internationally, have there been such situations where there's been sensitive information? In this case, it's not really sensitive information. These are direct threats against a country's safety and security. These are national security issues. These are not like, this can't really be seen from a lens of freedom of expression, something that, X or Meta would say that we want it to be a platform which will be free for all. It's a freedom of expression and so on and forth. This is a clear threat against a national security issue. So Sanjay Lazar, what I'm trying to understand is there a parallel internationally to a situation like this that has been treated differently, particularly vis-a-vis the social media?
There are parallels, and the parallels are in the US. I can bring up at least 5 cases where people who have just whispered on a phone call or at an airport bomb have been jailed for long periods of time without any provision. The Homeland Security Act provides it. I can raise a parallel in the UK, where a young boy, a Patel boy, had casually in a Snapchat conversation mentioned, "I'm on my way to Menorca in Spain, going to bomb an aircraft." You had fighter jets bring the aircraft down. He was arrested. His family was forced in court to pay $103,000 or euros as a fine. We've had situations in Rhode Island, also in the USA, where somebody who just mentioned at an airport was picked up. We've had cases in India itself where somebody who made a bomb hoax threat on a Jet Airways flight some years ago was imprisoned. So you had number of precedents. There are over 20, 30 worldwide precedents. Nobody has had so many calls in such a short time in the last 40 years. That is a fact. Nobody's had so many messages out. And that leads me to the next point, which is, why didn't we not act, in an umbrella organization sooner? Anyway, we've done it now. So the past is behind us. We've
True.
lost time. Let's look
No,
forward.
but one more thing, Mr. Sanjay Laser, and I want to ask you this is, if my team could tell if you're getting Pavan Dugal, but anyway, Mr. Sanjay Laser, one more question I want to ask you is, if we are talking about a new legislation, is that even something that is required? Because many people are coming up and saying that, listen, what is this you're talking about a no-fly list? What is this you're talking about a new legislation? Your existing legislations, agreements, international agreements, all of it covers all of these situations. Now, how much of this is true?
First of all, Mr. Pavan Dugal is an expert. He's the better person. But having said that, let me tell you, no-fly list is all bunkum. They should go straight to jail. We have existing laws that provide for this and can cover this. It is a misnomer for the ministry to say, the aviation ministry, that the Unlawful Suppression Act only covers aircrafts on ground. It does not. The third important point is, out of these 170 flights, how many were on ground and how many were flying? According to my calculation, 85% were flying. So where was the question of looking at an aircraft on ground? And in any case, the clause 3D1E already provides for aircraft wherever they are, provides for airports. Airports can't fly. So, we are hunting in the bushes to cover up mistakes. Let's understand, there are enough laws to tackle this. You want to create new legislation. It's going to take weeks, months, maybe. Please use what you have. There is ample provision for this. Yes, you may not have provision.
Used well.
Estimation for foreign entities. You may have to use other anti-terror laws or use that country's laws. But unless you go to a national agency, federal agency, you can't do that. That's the problem. We'll have to go through Interpol. We'll have to go through, our
Sanjay,
IB.
is there also, when you talk about aviation sector, what has happened over the last 10 days? Has it also, are the authorities, is the government even reacting to the fact that no longer aviation can work just like an aviation sector? It cannot function in isolation. No sector can function in isolation. Is India even waking up to that? Because now we are looking at how to get information from social media, how to get the information of those who have made those anonymous threats. All of that is well and good. But is there woken up to the fact that, listen, these are not things that can be done in compartments?
First thing, I said this 10 days ago when it started. Number two, please look at the UK, USA, Germany, and tell me who's the aviation minister. There is no aviation department or ministry in any of these countries. They're all subsections of a transportation or an integrated ministry. No, none of these major developing countries have an aviation minister or a ministry. Aviation is a subset of a transportation ministry. And in the case of cyber, see, let's understand, Sneha, this is cyber terrorism. We have to call it such and treat it as such. Let's not look at, at some point they were saying they're pranksters, they're little kids, they're doing all this. Slowly that mask has fallen off. We've reached this stage. Even today, I can see that.
That's very important. That's true.
I said this on day 2 and I was laughed off on your channel. I was with, I can't even remember, one of your anchors. And I remember this. I said, it is a conspiracy. If somebody is spoofing messages out of Germany or out of the UK. It's a conspiracy. They're bouncing it off other things, and there are laws, there are rules. We should have taken everybody into consideration. I still believe we need to have a integrated management for cyber terrorism or for international aviation terrorism. Let's look at the USA. After 9/11, they brought the Homeland Security Act. Once the Homeland Security Act was brought in, what happened? We had the Homeland Security Department, 33 departments of across government, whether it was fire, police, FBI, all of
Right.
them under this. And today they have the Homeland Security Act. You get punished. You're literally thrown in the boonies, and you struggle to come out if you face a federal crime. It's no longer Sahar police station. It's a national organization that looks after. So that's what I feel, and
Right.
hopefully
Right.
we'll learn lessons.
Right, Sanjay Laser, thank you very much for joining us. Thank you so much. It is a complex issue, and it's not, unfortunately, as you correctly said, just an aviation issue. It's so much more, and just a very visible spectrum to what really lies ahead when it comes to tech and a country. Thank you very much.